with the performance indicators and fees indicators, GMI doesn't really release their performance and fees indicators the same as the rest of the industry. Will that change?
I'm glad you said the same, because we do actually release them. They're on the website. We've got full transparency on that. We're the only ones that comply to the GIP standard. That's our problem with the Morningstars and the fund sources of this world. They basically work for the industry, and they produce you manipulated returns that are not comparable. I'm on record over and over and over again on this. That's the reason we don't join into that thing. But the data's there. It's absolutely there on the front page of the website.
It's quite hard to compare then GMI and the rest of the industry.
It's actually possible to compare the rest of the industry actually.
To GMI?
The data at Morningstar between provider A and provider B is crap.
Right, so...
And I've written heaps on it, so just read it.
So would you want KiwiBank to outline their performance and fees indicators the same as...
the standard in the industry.
I agree with that.
We can make it comparable.
I think a key component is raising the bar here, and probably a big part of that is making sure that we can have conversations with customers about it. So it's not just about comparing yourself to everybody else. It's actually about doing what's right for the client.
But in order for KiwiSavers though, they'd like to be able to compare KiwiSaver providers to each other in a fair way. I mean, will you now be changing your performance indicators?
We're not going to comment on whether we're changing things. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone wants to know how things are going for them. And that happens down at the client level, and you make sure that you can see that from your own perspective. Now then there's a broader issue about how people are disclosing and presenting things across the whole industry. So at the end of the day, you know, of course you want to see how well it's going for you, and whether your wealth is being preserved, and in some cases whether it's being grown. But you know, that's part of individual client relationships. It's not necessarily something that has to be sort of, you know, compared to every other person out there. You are doing your best for that client.
So is this an issue that you think the Financial Markets Authority should be paying greater attention to?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I mean, let me give you a really simple example so you can just get my point here. You've got two funds. One's a property fund, owns a building, right? And the other owns a share, owns shares. So the mark to market every day. So the one that owns the shares, mark to market, the price goes up and down every day. The one that owns the building, what does the price of that building do week to week? You haven't got a clue. And yet that's what's in the Morningstar reports. They just take whatever the owner of that building says the value of this building is doing.
Could you...
Now, I know you want it simplified, but you know, you've got to focus where the problem is. And the problem is on those providers and the people who compile that data who aren't doing an honest job. They do not conform with the GIP standard.
So there's work to be done.
There's big work to be done to lift the standard in this country.